things with a sliding door. Number one is you got a sliding door, you got what's called a patio door, and that's a single door that swings and it's glass. Then you come up to a French door, which is two parts, two doors that open. One can stay locked and they open and close. And then the third one is your slider. So the problem with the slider is that if you live in a windy area, you get sometimes you get a lot of rain or water on the bottom. What happens is the slider is on inside of the house. So this part here is fixed, the slider is on the inside. But what happens is, it has to slide past it, so it's not really that tight. What happens is we found that when the driving wind and rain pushes against that door, it can literally move the door enough that water can leak in. So if you want to if you're going to replace a slider, you make that operating door on the outside. Now people said, well, you don't want to do that because there's all snow that gets out there. There's enough heat loss going through that fixed door that you're not going to have any snow out there. It's going to melt it, But by having that door on the outside, it prevents it, when wind blows, it actually pushes it tighter to each other, as opposed to, being away. Ask me how I know this. We built a house down in Alton Bay. It was over $1 million. And their bedroom had the slider. And these are good windows. I mean, they're not Harvey, they're, Peller or Anderson sliders, but it was inside. And he's overlooking Alton Bay and Lake Winnipesaukee. And the wind really blew there. And it just pushed the door in enough that rainwater came in on that. So if you're going to do a replacement, the fixed glass with a patio door is the most efficient. The French doors are nice, but they're less efficient only because both operate. And then the slider is the least efficient, but if you get it with the door on the outside, and Peller makes them on the outside, then that makes it more efficient. Did I answer that question? And the windows, the glass is the glass. They don't really, there isn't a lot of rating on the glass. On those, they don't put stickers on it, even though it qualifies as a window for glazing purposes. Yes?
Okay. You were talking about putting plastic up over windows and then the condensation. So I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
If this pertains to like mold, so you have windows, and hopefully this is appropriate.
Oh, it is. Yep.
Okay. So I lived in an apartment, and in the wintertime, they were aluminum windows. And in the wintertime, I ended up having ice. Just at the bottom, just, like almost an inch, basically an inch thick all across the bottom. And of course, they told me that they won't get anything with the windows because the windows were fine. But I needed to leave my windows cracked open during the winter so that the warm air and cool air could come through and therefore run my electric bill up, but to satisfy that.
What you got there is the house is tightened up in the wintertime, and you got that moisture. That's number one, that 40 gallons of moisture per month inside that house. Aluminum windows, you can't buy them anymore. What happens was that aluminum windows conduct heat and cold incredibly. There was no thermal bridging. There was no way of stopping that cold air to go through. So back when we had aluminum siding, the aluminum siding was attached to the aluminum window, which was thermally attached inside the house. So a lot of your heat loss would go through that aluminum window, be absorbed into the aluminum siding, and act as a radiator. And it just took your heat from inside and just radiated it outside. So the way to prevent any moisture buildup, once you see condensation on the window, doesn't necessarily mean that the windows are poor quality. It means that you have an excessive amount of moisture in that house. You need to run your bathroom fan. One of our other presentations was you use the 2-ply method. You turn your bathroom fan on, stand on a stool, and if 2-ply piece of tissue sticks to the fan, then you got ventilation. If the fan is running and that toilet paper doesn't stick to it, you have no ventilation at all. So when you take that shower, remember that moisture is carried with the heat, and the heat goes to cold. And given that aluminum frame of the window being the coldest spot in the house, that's where all that moisture just went right to, condensed there, and then of course, since it conducted the cold from outside, it froze, and you got a substantial amount of ice.
And then I ended up with a really severe mold
Yes.
problem on the walls everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, because the mold, the moisture then gets absorbed in the wood.
So if you have the vinyl windows, it's okay to put the plastic around, it's not going to...
What the plastic does, actually what the plastic does is two things. Once it stops the cold air from coming in, but it also is a barrier from the moisture to get to that cold spot. That plastic keeps it here.
Okay,
Now-
so you're saying not to use...
You can use plastic, definitely.
Okay.
What you want to, when you're treating the symptom, not the cause. The cause is the framework around the windows. You know, you really want to insulate, take off the trim, and you really want to insulate that, you know, that part of the window with non-expanding foam or minimum expanding foam.
Putting up the plastic will not promote the growth
No,
of the mold.
not at all, because you're still, you can see how much air is coming in. So that cavity is well vented,
Right, okay.
unlike your house.
Okay.
So yeah, that's fine to do, other than
Okay.
you want to try to maybe do one window at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times the trim is easy to come off. Just be careful. Any other questions? How are we on time? We're done. Put a fork in it. All right, thank you guys very much. Any questions? I'm still around. There's still plenty of food, so I'll be around. All right, thank you.